Are you ready for some distortion and transformation? Let's start brand new. File New. Go to Web as a profile and choose the basic 960 by 560 and click OK. It actually doesn't matter. Choose anything you want, but it gives us place to play. Now, what we're going to do first is let's pick up a star tool here, and I'm going to draw a star on the screen about like that. Then I'm going to pick up my selection tool and drag, holding the Alt key down to make a second one. And just to make this more fun, I'll make the next one by pressing Control D, which is basically duplicate the last thing I did. So I got 3 up there. Let's give them colors, and I'll just use the spectrum up here. I'm not really concerned about a precise color, just make them a little bit different. There we go. We got 3 stars on the screen. Now what are we going to do with them? We're going to transform them and have a bit of fun. Now you have a button over here that's got a whole bunch of stuff. It starts out with what's called the Width tool, and then it goes into warping, twirling, pucker, and bloat. You've got to really appreciate people at Adobe who have the nerve to call a tool pucker and bloat. Scallop, crystallize, and wrinkle. Let's do this. Click right here and tear them off. Let's just play. The first one right here is called the warping tool. Now you will notice that anytime you select one of these tools, you get a cursor and you get a little circle going around the cursor. Yours might look different than mine. A lot of people ask me, how do you change the size of this thing? The best way to do it is hold down the Alt key while you've got one of them selected. And you see that little kind of like reverse L in the lower right. Now click and drag your mouse. And as you do, you can change the shape. Now when you let go of the Alt key, you're back into using the tool. Okay, we've got our mouse the way we want it with our cursor. We'll start with this one right here, which is called the Warp tool. What it does is it works on anchor points to warp the shape, turns them into smooth. Well, let me show you. I come over here. These are all corner points, straights. And we can begin a distortion process. Are you going to use these every day? Heavens, no. Okay, you're not. Well, I don't know, maybe you will. If you do, that's interesting. But when you need them, they're there. Guess it looks a little bit like a starfish, I suppose. Let's go ahead and press undo, 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 undo. I love undo. The next one over here is called the twirl tool. And if well, let's do this. Let's make our brush, hold the Alt key down. Let's make it a little bit bigger. If I come over here to this point and click and hold, I don't know why I'm doing that, but I am. How about this? Hold the Alt key down and make a really big brush. Let's go to this one right here. I don't know what that is, but I like it. Press Control Z again, and we'll get everything back. Now here's the ubiquitous pucker tool. Now if you come over here and work pucker on this, just click really fast. And it begins to pucker the shape, but it does it pretty fast. I mean, that was pretty quick. If I go to the bloat tool and go to the star, get right about like that. Well, you can bloat the star into a circle, but again, it's working kind of fast, don't you think? Let me undo these. Do these things have controls, Andy? Yes. All you have to do is double click on the one that you want to change. So if we go into pucker and double click, we get all kinds of stuff, but the one that people are more interested in is intensity, how fast the thing works. I want to slow it down. So I'm going to change intensity to say 1. Go ahead and click OK. Then we come over to this one again. As you can see, much easier to control the process. Now be the same for any of the tools. You double click, you get stuff. So you might want to explore some of the things that are going on here. The next one over, this one right here, is called a scallop. Let me go ahead and undo everything again. And if I come over and let's get a smaller brush too. Let's go ahead and move up, say about here, and click. And what it's doing is basically, it's just using a different kind of math than some of the other tools. And it's creating all these anchor points and just making this interesting shape. You know what that reminds me of? Me when I've had way too much coffee. Now the last one Let me go ahead and undo. If I use anything a lot, it would be the twirl. I like twirl. And this last one over here, which is called the wrinkle tool. Now to demonstrate that, let me do something. Let me pick up my type tool and come over here and type the word melting. Just like that. Let's select that. I'm going to go up to the word type and go into recent fonts and pick up the one I've used just not too long ago. It's called Impact. Big, beefy, nice, really big kind of font. So I'm going to come over here and actually just drag it out. I know it's text, but we can resize it any way we want. Let's go ahead and put that right about there. And now in order to use this tool, the wrinkle tool on it, I will have to convert the text. So with the selection tool, not the type tool, go up the word type and select create outlines. And let's give it a little bit of a different color. That is a little bit boring. Let's double click on the wrinkle tool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the intensity actually higher. I want it to work faster. I'm going to come over here and let's make a little bit of a different brush. Something like that. Now watch what happens to this when I do this. This really, to me, it's just a blast what this thing does. Well, to me, it looks like it's melting it. Now we have something in marketing called double impact. The human brain, when it sees something, and let me go ahead and unselect that so you can see what it's doing. When it sees something like a word that actually is doing what the word is saying, like it's melting and it looks like it's melting, we'll remember it more because it's called double impact. It hits both sides of our brain, left and right. So all of the tools we've been using are actually kind of fun to play around with. I don't use them every day, but I know where they are when I need them, and that's the point. Play around with these tools, have some fun, and don't forget, they all have options. On to the next.